Okay. Good morning.
Morning.
Welcome to the White House. Welcome to the Navy Department and Reception Room. We're so pleased that you're here with us today. Today is the 5th day of Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander Heritage Month, and the reason for our convening on this special day, Vesak. My name is Philip Kim, and I serve as a Senior Advisor for Public Engagement on AA and NHPI and Faith, and I couldn't be more excited to be here with you today and celebrate the holiest day for Buddhists in America and around the world. It's my privilege to share that today you'll hear from esteemed speakers of different American Buddhist schools, from venerable leaders who practice from around the world, and from the highest levels of the White House. We're proud to share that the celebration of Vesak at the White House was started here during this administration 2 years ago, and today marks our third opportunity to do so. Thank you to the leadership of so many, and especially the Sangha Gentlemen's. Right now, I'd like to recognize Erica Moritsugu, an incredible leader who has also been instrumental into building it here at the White House and serves as Deputy Assistant to the President. Next, I'd like to introduce to you Wangmo Dixie, President of the International Buddhist Association of Americans, for opening remarks and a lesson on the course today.
Dear most second gentlemen, honored Mahasangha, and venerable lamas, ambassadors, and distinguished guests. It is great privilege to address this august assembly in my role as the President of the International Buddhist Association of America. First and foremost, I wish to express our deepest appreciation to this administration for making history by honoring Vesak for the first time in the White House in 2021. Thank you, dear Erica and Philip, and for so many others who have worked together to make this such a beautiful program today. We feel the love in every action taken. We also feel supported, especially by our heartfelt friendship and support from our friends from the Dharma in Action and at all the embassies present today. The IBAA has just completed a comprehensive survey of Buddhist organizations in America, and we have identified over 2,400 temples, meditation and retreat centers that grace our great country. These are split almost equally between the three vehicles of Buddhism, the Theravada, Mahayana, and Vajrayana, and host teachers and assemblies from 10 countries, from the motherland of India, from Nepal, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Myanmar, Thailand, Tibet, Cambodia, Vietnam, Indonesia, and China, who will join with the American people in study and practice inspired by our gracious teacher, the Buddha. I feel especially proud as an American Asian born in Berkeley, California, raised in a Buddhist manner, educated in some of the great American universities, to see so many ambassadors from these countries and so many eminent and important Buddhist priests and practitioners gathered together in this historic place today. Vesak is a day of immense importance to all Buddhists, bringing all traditions together to celebrate the day of the birth, enlightenment, and the passing away of the Blessed One. It is humbling to think that the huge body of teachings left by him some 2,600 years ago still resonate with such importance. With between 700 million and 1 billion followers spread over large swaths of Southeast Asia, Buddhism is the third of the great missionary religions, along with Christianity and Islam, and brings a message of perhaps unique importance to the cultural conditions we find today. The International Buddhist Association of America was founded to rise to a challenge, the challenge of bringing together all of the various Buddhist voices found in America and promoting the civilized and reasoned discourse that is such a feature of our great tradition. In the ceremony that follows, prayers will be offered in multiple languages, by monks and teachers in widely different attire. Yet all are unified by the central understandings that the Blessed One left us. May all beings be happy. May all beings avoid suffering. May all beings have the happiness that is free from suffering. May all beings live with an open heart, free from attachment, aversion, and indifference. I've had the opportunity to visit many Buddhist countries, yet here in America, the Dharma still feels new, and its teachings find relevance in the almost unique conditions we find today. Extreme polarization of views, feelings of alienation, and meaninglessness are all rising rapidly and cry out for a deeper engagement with our mind and experience, and a fuller understanding of why we sometimes act the way we do. Mind precedes all of our actions, and it is as a result of this insight that many millions have flocked to Buddhist meditation traditions and practices, seeking relief from incessant reactivity and stress, wanting to generate resilience in the face of an ever-intensifying pressures as technological advances and rapid social change overtake earlier ways of living. This is a beginning, but there is so much more to learn and to discover, a great gift that the Asian wisdom traditions can offer to the human spirit. It is particularly important now as we stand together in this central hall of democracy, this great people's house, that we honor and celebrate what we can do together. I would like to end with a quote from my father, Tartan Rinpoche, who was present at the first White House Vesak 3 years ago, and who has been such an inspiration for me. The spirit of America has touched me deeply, consistently, year after year, for 4 decades. But to me, America is not simply a place or a piece of land. It is a grand symbol on this earth. I feel this light shines not only externally in the social and political freedoms so honored in America, but also internally in the opportunity to become ever more free from ignorance, karma, and klesha, as the Buddha would express it. Both forms of freedom bring benefits that all people long for. Sooner or later, those who espouse non-freedom are the losers, for freedom fits the truth of the human spirit. It is the spirit of such freedom, the willingness to stand up to outmoded traditions and forge a new path based on kindness and honesty, that is illustrated by the images of the Buddha, so many of which are to be found in public and private places. This is the tradition that unifies us, one we can all agree upon and promote through working together for the benefit of all beings. Thank you. Now I would like to invite, it is my great honor and privilege to ask the second gentleman of the United States of America to deliver his remarks on this auspicious Vesak Day.
Good morning. Welcome to the White House. I would like to thank you, Wang Mo, for those remarks. Very touching, very beautiful, very telling, and things we all need to hear. So thank you for your work. It's been great to get to know you over these past 3 years, and I look forward to continuing this. I also want to thank the venerables of the Theravada, venerables of Mahayana and Vajrayana schools who are present with us here today, and all of you who are here. including my daughter, hello Ella, and Sam are here visiting. Thank you to the various dignitaries here at the White House, the ambassadors of Cambodia, Nepal, Sri Lanka, and Thailand, representatives from the embassies of India, Indonesia, and Mongolia, who are all here today. Thank you for coming. Appreciate that. And to our international partners here, our friends, the diaspora, and all of you in this room, representatives of the White House, Erica, thank you for your work on everything you do for this administration. It's really great to get to know you over these almost 3 years and all the other things that you do for our country, our world. You're very much appreciated. Welcome to our celebration. It's our third one. I hosted the first ever celebration here in the White House. This is 2 years ago, and it was small. It was just a few of us in a very small room in the White House, but it was so inspiring. It was so deep, and I said, I'll see you next year. So last year, it got bigger. Last year, we were in the vice president's balcony, if you can remember, and there were more of us in there. And I said to Wang Mo, okay, I'll see you next year. Let's keep this going. And now look at this. Look at this amazing room that we're in, the old Navy library, a very significant room. And look at all of the representatives from around the world, from around the administration. It's really amazing. And maybe one day we'll get over to the other side here. So, let's keep this going. I really, really love this, as you can tell. But it's also fitting that we're hosting this event during Asian American, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander Heritage Month, which is, of course, a time for us to celebrate. My wife, the vice president, was at a big event the other night with Erica at George Washington University. Maybe some of you were there. And it's just such a great time to celebrate and a time for joy. It's also Jewish Heritage Month for the Jewish faith. So we've got a lot of months going on here to celebrate. But today we're here to celebrate, as Wang Mo said, the most sacred day for Buddhists in America and worldwide, the birth, death, and enlightenment of the Buddha. This is a day for everyone to reflect upon his teachings of inner peace, his path to happiness, and of loving and kindness, of which you spoke so eloquently, and we will have our ceremony so you can really feel it. As second gentleman, I've made it a point to really talk about faith, not just the Jewish faith, but all faiths, and celebrate as many of the faith-based holidays here at the White House as I can, because it's important for all faiths to come together. I do a lot of work fighting anti-Semitism and hate, Islamophobia, anti-Asian hate, all these things that are happening in our world right now. There's an epidemic of hate. And if we lead with faith and we bring our faiths together, it's such an incredible way to fight back against hate. So as second gentleman, and being the first Jewish person married to a president or a vice president, I take that responsibility very seriously. And with that responsibility, I have leaned into this issue of fighting against hate. And I know you're all with me on this. And this is also something that the president and vice president have encouraged me and really pushed me into doing, and I will continue to do that. And I hope, again, you will all join me in doing that. And again, to be clear, this message is, it's not just a hate against one, it's a hate against all. And that's why we need to build these coalitions across all groups to combat hate, because we have common traditions, we have common histories, we have common values, and that's what unites us, and it unites us more than it divides us. I also want to talk about the joy of religion. And in the Jewish faith, there's so many incredible traditions that I love, and in your faith, particularly this day of Vesak, which I have now come to celebrate with you for the third year in a row. I want to tell you something to see this beautiful presentation. The butter lamp has been sitting in my office downstairs down the hall in a place of honor in my office, right in the middle of my mantle over the fireplace. And the only time it leaves my office is to come to the Vesak celebration. So that is how much I enjoy and honor this tradition with you, and I will continue to have the butter lamp. As soon as it leaves here today, it'll go right back into my office in the place of honor, in the middle of my mantle, right in front of my fireplace, for everyone to see. Whoever comes into my office from all around the world, dignitaries, leaders, the president, the vice president, whomever gets to see that butter lamp in my office. So thank you again for coming today. We are going to light these candles. We're going to celebrate the universal principles of compassion, humility, and peace. And let's all recommit all of ourselves to building a better future together. Thank you so much for coming to the White House. It's a real honor to have you.
Thank you so much. We have so much to be celebrating today, a sense of unity among all of us. And so I would really like to begin this precious ceremony, which we call Vesak, by calling forward the Theravada Mahasangha from the International Buddhist Association of America. There are representatives from 3 different countries here. They will be chanting in Pali, the ancient scriptures of the original teachings of the Buddha, the excellent qualities of the Buddha in Pali. And so may I request from the Cambodian Mahasangha, Venerable Song Mong, to please come to the Buddha altar, Venerable Uparatana from Sri Lanka, and Venerable Dhammadipa Phao Yo from Taiwan. We will begin by lighting the lamp on behalf of Theravada Buddhists in America. And then we will have the prayer, the qualities of the Buddha in Pali, and then finally a message by Venerable Uparatana. You may begin.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa iti piso bhagavarahang samma buddho vinjacharana sampanno Sugato lokavidu anuttaro purisa dhamma sarati sattha deva manusanam buddho bhagavati swakato bhagavata dhammo san Akaliko ehi pasiko opanayiko pachat veditabbo vinyohit supatipanno bhagavato savaka sangho ujjupatipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Nyaya patipanno bhagavato සාවක සංඝෝ සාමීචි පටිපන්නෝ භගවතෝ සාවක යදිදං චත්තාරි පුරිස යුගානි අට්ඨ පුරිස පුග්ග ඒස භගවතෝ සාවක සංඝෝ ආහුනේයෝ දක්ඛිනේයෝ අංජලි කරණීයෝ අනුත්තරම් පුඤ්ඤක්ඛෙත්තං ඒතේන සච්ච වජ්ජේන පාතු ත්වං රතනත්තය ඒතේන සච්ච වජ්ජේන පාතු ත්වං රතනත් ඒතේන සච්ච වජ්ජේන පාතු ත්වං රතනත්තයං.
Now may I ask Venerable Uparatana to please deliver a message.
Sukho Buddhanang Upado, dear Venerable Mahasangha, distinguished our great spiritual friends together. Today we are commemorating Buddha's birth, enlightenment and passing away. That's a wonderful thing, and third year we're celebrating highly as our Honorable mentioned about it. So this is a wonderful time as a Vesak in Sri Lanka and other national Buddhist countries celebrating very highly. It was a wonderful day. It's a full moon day, exactly full moon day today, and Vesak full moon day, and we call Vaisakha Purnima, Vesak Pohe, and we celebrate in Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka is Vesak Day, it's the biggest day, and the people day and night, they are observing, doing all meritorial activities. They're doing, build up the more ceremonial activities like a big parade and with the peacefully, and the people, pilgrims go to every temples and they feed very well. They give in the soft drink and everything, and they are very happily, they celebrate and lantern, Vesak lanterns, and people go to the temple with the white cloth. They are observing precept and 8 precept, 5 precept and 10 precept, like that. And monks are very busy giving the blessing for them, giving the precept for them, and the advising and chanting, blessing, all kind of work, and especially for our parents, adults, they are in the temple facilities, and their young children, they're making, cooking great food and offer to the community of the Sangha, offer to the seniors and people who observe the precept, and that's all kind of ceremonial activities. They're doing mentally, verbally, physically, purification purpose. All the communicate activities and people living together spiritual life. Even though that day, especially Sri Lanka, they are not allowed to sell the fish or chicken or meat. So that much they keep it the holy days. That Vesak day is a full moon day. So that's why the people acting, and that's a blessingful day. Everybody earning blessing because of the Buddha's teaching. Metta, Karuna, Mudita, Upekha, the loving kindness, people practicing, generating their loving kindness thought, allow to yourself and all other living beings. And human being, non-human being, or visible, invisible, all living being, to keep in their great loving kindness thought. And same time they are practicing compassionate to the all being in the universe. That's a great protection for our life. And the other thing is wealthier, healthier being existing in this universe. They keep him practicing sympathetic joy That's a great thought to practice. And other thing is equanimity, patience, and for the equal to everyone, that kind of great teaching, metta, karuna, mudita, upeka, that four things are our protection for our life, our spiritual life. So Buddhist teaching and someone who practice, that's a great blessing. Today is our great spiritual leader, Lord Buddha, and his message we are practicing and we're celebrating, we're enjoying with the spiritual way, and so glad to come to the White House and keeping this great event, our Venerable Mahasangha, Theravada, Mahayana, Vajrayana together, and wonderful wish you happy Vesak for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, most respected Venerable Uparatana. And now I would like to turn to the Mahayana representatives to please come to the Buddha altar. May I request Reverend Daigaku Rume from the Soto Zen, who's an American master, and Bhikkhuni Sungak Kungge Han, Korean American, the first bhikkhuni in America here from the Bhikkhuni Association, and Venerable Dr. Hei Dao Gary Swao Chu from the Korean Tago Order. May I ask you each, Venerable Bhikkhuni, to please light a lamp. Thank you. Now we will be hearing from the Mahayana tradition a very important sutra, the Heart Sutra, that will be recited in English, and then also the bhikkhuni will give a short recitation in Korean. We will begin with the Heart Sutra in English.
The Heart of Great Perfect Wisdom Sutra. Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva, when deeply practicing Prajnaparamita, clearly saw that all five aggregates are empty, and thus relieved all suffering. Shatiputra, form does not differ from emptiness. Emptiness does not differ from form. Form itself is emptiness. Emptiness itself form. Sensations, perceptions, formations, and consciousness are also like this. Shatiputra, all dharmas are marked by emptiness. They neither arise nor cease, are neither defiled nor pure, neither increase nor decrease. Therefore, given emptiness, there is no form, no sensation, no perception, no formation, no consciousness. No eyes, no ears, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no sight, no sound, no smell, no taste, no touch, no object of mind, no realm of sight, no realm of mind consciousness. There is neither ignorance nor extinction of ignorance, neither old age and death nor extinction of old age and death. No suffering, no cause, no cessation, no path, no knowledge, and no attainment. With nothing to attain, a bodhisattva relies on Prajnaparamita, and thus the mind is without hindrance. Without hindrance, there is no fear. Far beyond all inverted views, one realizes nirvana. All Buddhas of past, present, and future rely on Prajnaparamita, and thereby attain unsurpassed, complete, perfect enlightenment. Therefore, know the Prajnaparamita as the great miraculous mantra. the great bright mantra, the supreme mantra, the incomparable mantra, which removes all suffering and is true, not false. Therefore, we proclaim the Prajna Paramita mantra, the mantra that says, Gate, Gate, Paragate, Parasangate, Bodhi Svaha. May our intention extend to every being in place with the true merit of Buddha's way. All Buddhas throughout space and time, all honored ones, bodhisattvas, mahasattvas, wisdom beyond wisdom, Maha Prajna Paramita.
Ade ade vara sanga muje sabha. Ade vara sanga muje sabha. Ade vara sanga muje sabha.
Good morning. Siddhartha Gautama wrestled with the question of human suffering. He wondered, how could it be possible to bring an end to suffering, not only for myself, but for all human beings? This was truly a great and noble aspiration. He sat for 6 years under the Bodhi tree, grappling with this question, until it happened that one morning, looking up over the horizon, he saw the morning star. At that instant, the light of the star and Siddhartha became one, and they both disappeared. At that instant, they both disappeared. This was his enlightenment, his awakening, his realization that essentially all things are one. Buddha means the awakened one. At that moment, he exclaimed, "Heaven, earth, and I are of the same source. I and all things are one." He also uttered the last words of the Heart Sutra that we've just chanted, Gate, Gate, Paragate, Parasamgate, Bodhi, Svaha. This means, I've done it. I've crossed over to the other side where there is no suffering. But not only me, together with all sentient beings, past, present, and future. Rejoice, he said. With this awakening, he verified that all people are endowed with Buddha nature and with the wisdom and virtue of the Buddha. He guaranteed that all people have the potential to awaken to their true nature, that is free of the bonds of birth, old age, sickness, and death. As Dogen Zenji, the founder of the Soto Zen sect in Japan, taught us, to study the way of Buddha is to study the self. To study the self is to forget the self. For those who aspire to bring an end to suffering, Dogen Zenji said that we must study the big self, the universal self. The way to do that, he said, is by forgetting the ego, the small self that constantly divides, compares, and judges. By seeing the true nature of the self, he taught that we are all able to realize the perfection of the moment now, which is beyond time, place, and separation. This is the big self that has neither beginning nor end. Thank you.
Profound teachings. Now I would like to request, on behalf of the Vajrayana tradition, I would like to call up Venerable Khenpo Kunga Sherab from Canada, representing His Holiness Sakya Trichin, and also Khenpo Tsewang, one of the venerable elders who first came here to America from the Nyingma tradition. They will be asked to light a lamp and then to have a short blessing, a dedication and aspiration blessing.
Sangye Judan Zoge Jonam La Chanjo Pato Dani Yapso Ju Tage Jizo Jibe Sonam Ye Dola Benje Sangye Dobar Shu Semje Tamje Dewa Dan Dewe Judan Dembar Juji Tonghe Da Tonghe Ge Judan Dewa Juji Tonghe Mebe Dewa Damba Da Mindewa Juji Yere Chada Nida Dewe Tanyom La Neba Juji Sanye Nanse Zodo Tamje Yo Koan Jida Sido Wiso Shaya Toba Kodam Paye La Sanye Pao De La Chaze Lu Semje Neba Jini Ba Nyordo Nene Tayo Drowe Nena Mali Ba Tado Jua Meba Yo Jese Nanga Neba Da Dise Jese Nejo Dise Danye Nejo Drowe Tume Sewa Yo Drowe Tume Menje Bo Dewa Tamje Juwe Ne Temba Nida Korde Da Jede Yure Nejo Jambe Bawe Jida Kimba Da Kundo Zambo Deha Dikshin Deda Gunje Jezo Dalo Jegewa Deda Tamje Rabdo Dezo Jebe Yawa Tamje Yemoa Kana Chodo Ngaba Dagi Kive Zawa Dibi Jao Sabo Jeje Rabdo Muarai Nimo Dele Tendele Nime Kwaya Dele Ninze Tato Dele Kunjo Somgi Tashi Good morning and happy Vesak Day. So this message comes from His Holiness the Sajya Goma Tiji Rinpoche, who is the living Vraja master. After His Holiness the Dalai Lama, he is the second highest living Lama of the Tibetan Buddhism tradition. This is message. Auspicious greeting to all the distinguished and esteemed attendants of this very special prayer gathering of the three major Buddhist traditions. This gathering of the representatives from the three major traditions of Theravada, Mahayana, and Vajrayana Buddhism at this very historical venue. It is a very it's very auspicious occasion. It is wonderful to have the three major Buddhist traditions come together to pray for world peace and harmony. It is more important than ever to have a harmonious relationship between the different Buddhist traditions in this troubling time of war and long-lasting pandemic, because the world needs our joint blessing. I'm confident that the power of our combined prayer and blessing will reach far to including all sentient beings to bring harmony and peace into traveling time. Aspire for a world free from suffering, hatred, war, and disease, and to guide all beings on the path of moderation and toleration based on the Buddhist principle of loving kindness and compassion. To quote from Tibetan prayer of the Four Immeasurable, may all sentient beings gain happiness and the causes of happiness. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all sentient beings never be parted from happiness that is free from suffering. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from bias, attachment, and rejection. In conclusion, I would like to extend my best wishes to all this gathering here and my prayer for the successful fruition of all your combined aspirations. Thank you.
Thank you. So now I would like to turn to the White House officials calling forward our chief guest here, the second gentleman of the United States of America, to please light the big butter lamp that stays on your mantle. On behalf of all of us, please light the lamp. Thank you so much on behalf of all of us. What a great honor. May I ask Erika Moritsugu to please light the lamp on the central pillar here. She's been an inspiration for all of us, a connector to the White House, and without her, so much of this would not be possible. So please light a lamp on behalf of all of us. Thank you, dear Erica. Thank you. Now I would like to invite Brian Luty from the National Security Council to please light a candle on behalf of all sentient beings on this holy day. You can take maybe this one right here. This one. Thank you, Brian. Now I would like to ask Philip Kim, who has been an instrumental guide to this whole beautiful ceremony, to please light the other pillar. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Philip. Now I would like to turn to a couple lay devotees that we would like to acknowledge. Professor Hebar from the International Buddhist Association of America. He was the original, connector to Mr. Shekhar, who, this is one of the main reasons why we're here. And so we'd like to honor Professor Hebar for guiding us to this very monumental day. Thank you. Thank you so much, Professor. Now we would like to call Mr. Shekhar Narasimhan from Dharma in Action. He's really the reason why we're here today, so please acknowledge him for allowing us to be here. Mr. Shekhar. Thank you. Thank you so much. Now we have an opportunity to take a group photo, and so we would be requesting venerable monks who've been identified to take this group photo with the second gentleman. This is an opportunity for us to conclude the first part of the program with a group photo behind the Buddha, and we will continue after the group photo to the second part of the program. Thank you so much.
Ms. Wangmo Dixie, Deputy Assistant to the President Moritsugu, honored guests. As we celebrate Vesak with American Buddhists, we also celebrate with Buddhist communities around the world. The White House is honored to have venerable leaders that minister to our foreign partner embassies and diaspora groups. We now welcome 4 of our venerables to each come forward and light a candle and offer a few words. First, I welcome Venerable Mahagama Dhamma Siri to light a candle and say a few words.
I have 2 minutes. Is still 2 minutes or more? Okay, 2 minutes. Okay, then my good friends, monks and laity, today I am very happy and feel honored to represent Washington Buddhist Vihara, the very first Buddhist temple in America, established in 1966 by my teacher, late Most Venerable Madihi Panyasi Mahanayaka Thera. And today we are gathered here to celebrate Vesak. In Vesak, we have to concentrate on teachings of the Buddha. Buddha's teachings are based on love and compassion. That is why Buddhism is special. We have never brought problems to other countries. Buddhists, they are very peaceful, calm, quiet people, right? They have not shed a drop of blood in the name of spreading his teachings, Buddha's teachings. And so it is a religion of faith, of compassion and love. What you give, that's what comes to you back. So we give love to others, we give compassion to others, that will come to us. That is what the Buddha taught. And many people, I like to say a few words about offering flowers. Many people in America, they think Buddhists are idol worshippers. When they see this, without going to deep of this practice, they just look at that, see that, they think, oh, Buddhists are idol worshippers. They worship in statues. That is not what we are doing here. That is what no Buddhists do. What we do is, we respect the Buddha for what he did towards mankind, for peace and happiness of all. So we respect to him for that. So, these flowers are symbols of our gratitude to the Buddha. Once, a professor from American University long time ago came to my temple, Washington, D.C., and previous day, a Sunday, there was a big celebration of Vesak. Now you can imagine how many flowers were in the temple that day. Many people brought so many valuable, very expensive, big, huge roses and filled all the altar with those flowers. And he realized that how special these flowers are, how expensive they are, and he said, he didn't think, but the words came out, oh, what a waste. Okay, he knew that we are going to throw them away, right? After a day or two. They spend a lot of money for that. He said, but instantly, at once, he realized that he said something wrong. So he said, I am sorry. No, don't worry. I asked, have you been to American cemetery of Arlington Cemetery? Yes, I have. Have you seen so many bunches of beautiful roses lying on the graveyards there? Yes, oh, I get your point, Bhante. I understand, he said. That means these are symbols of our gratitude. Those are symbols of our gratitude to the people who died, who are died, who are gone, right? We can't forget them. And what lies behind these offerings is to remember teachings of the Buddha and follow his practices. That is what we do. So we are not, dear America, we are not idol worshippers. Thank you very much.
Next, we welcome Venerable Pramahatawin Phukao from Thailand.
Good morning, everyone. Let me speak to you just for 1 second before I give the message. After I checked the point, before I entered the building, I found the 100 bill in front of the gate. So, check your pocket. If you lost some money, you cannot go home. That's why I worry about you. Thank you so much. Venerable monk, Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, it's really honest to be here at the White House. This is a very special day of Vesak. First, I would like to thank our host for organizing and coordinating this important event. Second, as the representative of the Thai Theravada tradition of the Buddhism, in the United States. I am Pramatawin. I would like to extend my warm greeting to all other guests in attendance. There are many holidays Buddhists on which Buddhists have chance to cultivate knowledge, sharing together to practice the Dhamma and pay homage to the Tibetan gem. One of the most important this holiday is Visakha Bhucha Day, or Vesak, which falls on the full moon day of the 6th month. This is a very good occasion to recollect the virtue of the wisdom, purity, and compassion to the Buddha. The Buddha was honest, the light of the world, because by purifying his mind, his remains blink all day and night, allowing him to study nature for our world with his great wisdom. He discovers the noble truth, and by doing so frees himself from the endless cycle of rebirth, driving by craving with trap or being. Visakha Bhucha Day marks the celebration held to commemorate the Buddha's birth, enlightenment, and passing away of Nibbana. It's not only a reminder of the Buddha's stature to renounce his own desire, ego, and sorrowful attachment to this world of the permanent, but that the Buddha himself, with great compassion, spent 45 years teaching people to build mindfulness and tolerance in order to build peace, both for ourselves and our society. The United Nations has declared Visakha Bhucha Day as the international recognition of the Day of Vesak. This shows the importance of the day and the Buddha's claim to the world. For over 2,500 years, Buddhism has promoted the value of the wisdom and compassion to our efforts can continue for next 2,500 years. What Buddhists try to do on auspicious day is develop the mindfulness to realize the impermanence of the world and spread loving kindness to all beings. We believe the best way to recollect the Buddha is to put his teaching into practice. On behalf of the Buddhist monk in America, I feel very grateful to be in this country where all religions can come together and different views can be respected. This important celebration is an example of that. I am especially honored that Thai monks have been invited to participate. Thai monks in America serve not just our local community, but all citizens. And we will continue to do our best to support peace in this country and promote the value of the Buddhism worldwide. I send my best wishes of success, happiness, prosperity, and inner peace to everyone here today. Thank you.
Next, we welcome Venerable Shalpa Rinpoche from Nepal to light a candle and make a few remarks.
Namo Buddhaya. Respected venerables, monks and nuns, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, and all peace-loving brothers and sisters. On Vesak Day, we celebrate the birth of Prince Siddhartha. 2,600 years or so ago, in the sacred garden of Lumbini, Queen Mayadevi gave birth to Prince Siddhartha, who was destined to become the awakened one, the apostle of peace. Before the Queen Mayadevi gave birth to the prince, it was foretold that she will lose her life soon after bearing her child. Nevertheless, with great courage and joy, she gave birth to the Holy Prince. Therefore, on Vesak Day, which was also the day of which Lord Buddha attained enlightenment and Mahaparinirvana, we also honor Queen Mayadevi and all mothers of past, present, and future who exemplify selfless love in caring for their children. This unconditional love is the true foundation for lasting peace in the world and lasting peace within. In the 3rd century BCE, the Indian king Ashoka realized his terrible mistake in waging war against his rivals, and he embraced the Buddha's teaching on nonviolence. On a pilgrimage tour to the sacred sites of Buddha, King Ashoka erected a pillar adjacent to Mayadevi temple, which shelters earliest archaeologist remains and a stone that marks the spot where Mayadevi gave birth. In 1997, Lumbini, Nepal was listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Lumbini is a major source of national pride and a great attraction for the tourists and pilgrims from all over the world. Nepal is a land of peace, and Nepali people are peace-loving people. My vision for the Universal Peace Sanctuary in Lumbini is to create an inclusive, non-denominational center that welcomes people of every race, every color, every creed, every gender, and every believers and non-believers alike. Buddha's teachings remind us to live our life in a meaningful way without taking it for granted. Also, Buddha taught us it is crucial to live in the moment as if there is no next moment. To be a responsible person is the way to follow Buddha's path, Buddha's teaching. To follow Buddha's teaching is to be able to emulate his way of being. That is to have integrity in your way of living, integrity in your way of acting. We are establishing the peace destination in Lumbini as never before established anywhere in the world since the beginning of civilization. This peace destination is not just a religious destination. This peace destination is not just a political destination. This peace destination is for every peace lovers on this earth, so that all leaders can come to educate themselves way to truly understand what is peace, what is the nonviolence, what is the real valuable thing for all of us to embrace. For that, we are organizing Peace Gala in Hollywood to truly spread this message and to make sure this becomes a movement. On the eve of Mother's Day, May 13th, exactly this coming Saturday, we are hosting this gala in Los Angeles. You are all welcome to join us because this is for all of us to celebrate together. We are all equal partners in our quest for enduring peace and fulfillment. I feel that there is no one who does not desire peace in their lives, peace in their communities, peace in their nation, and this is a desire we all share in common. That is why today it is a great honor to be here in the White House to truly celebrate in this wonderful ways. And America is a place where we must start leading the world to find a peaceful solution. Thank you very much. Excuse me.
Finally, we welcome Venerable Chun Sopal from Cambodia to light a candle and say a few brief remarks.
I would like to pay homage to our most vulnerable who is present in here. Good morning to all lady devotee, Excellency, ladies and gentlemen who come to participate in this ceremony today. On behalf of Cambodian Buddhism, Cambodian Buddhist Society Inc., Wat Putikaram, I would like to give a message which is related to the enlightenment of the Buddha. Enlightenment means knowledge. The Buddha has three knowledge. The knowledge of recollection of past life, the knowledge of disease and rebirth of human being, and the knowledge of destruction of mental intoxicant. After he got enlightenment, he gives the sermon to all lay devotee, to all human who exist in the world. As the Buddha said, life is impermanent. It means everything who exist in the universe are changed. Not even our body, but also the whole world are always changed. Life is dukkha, suffering, unsatisfactoriness, because of oldness, illness, death, because of lost something which is or who is beloved, etc. Life is non-self, because we cannot control everything. After we pass away, after we die, we got nothing. So when we are alive, the Buddha said, Sabbapapasa akaranang, not doing all bad deed, Kausalaso pasambada, doing good deed, and Satchataparaya dapanang, It means to clarify our mind to be as a beautified mind. So the enlightenment of the Buddha is for the benefit of many, for the happiness of many, our compassion for the world, for the good benefit and happiness of God and men. So all human beings be free from suffering. Thank you very much for your pay attention.
Thank you, Venerables. The White House is also grateful to have ambassadors from Cambodia, Nepal, Sri Lanka, and Thailand, and representatives from the Indian, Indonesian, and Mongolian embassies here to celebrate with us. We request that the ambassadors all come forward to light candles. His Excellency Keo Chia, Ambassador of Cambodia, His Excellency Sridhar Khatri, Ambassador of Nepal, His Excellency Mahinda Samarasinghe, Ambassador of Sri Lanka, and His Excellency Thani Sangrup, Ambassador of Thailand. We now invite the representatives from the embassies of India, Indonesia, and Mongolia to come forward and light candles. Thank you. We now invite His Excellency Ambassador Samarasinghe from the Embassy of Sri Lanka to provide closing remarks on behalf of our embassy community and our international partners.
Most Venerable Mahasangha, Excellencies, the Ambassadors of Cambodia, Ambassador of Nepal, Ambassador of Thailand, representatives of the Ambassadors of India, Mongolia, and Indonesia. Deputy Assistant to the President, Erika. President of the International American Buddhist Association, other members of the International American Buddhist Association, friends, ladies and gentlemen. A few months ago, 7 or 8 ambassadors came together representing large Buddhist populations in their respective countries. And we discussed among ourselves that we should collectively make a request to the White House to celebrate Vesak, the birth, enlightenment, and death of Gautama the Buddha, on par with the other 4 major religions of the world. I think everyone in this room knows that there are nearly 500 million Buddhists in the world. 4.5 million of that 500 live in the United States of America. So it's a significant population, and on behalf of our respective Buddhist populations in our respective countries, we addressed a letter communication, and I want to take the opportunity of thanking the White House for the spontaneous goodwill as well as the positive attitude that was displayed towards this communication. The result has been this event today, held in this magnificent room, which we are very thankful for. I want to make a special mention, although the statement was not read out today, as yet, it has been traditional for President Biden to issue a statement felicitating Buddhists all over the world on this very special day. I was told by Erika that the statement is on the way, and we are very appreciative of the personal commitment that both President Biden and First Lady Jill Biden has been showing in the last 2 years and also this year in acknowledging and celebrating Vesak. I want to also, on behalf of a group of ambassadors, thank the second gentleman who has shown personal commitment in acknowledging and celebrating Vesak. Along with the International American Buddhist Association, the last 2 years, the second gentleman gave leadership and celebrated Vesak, and he was here with us once again this year, and he mentioned to us in the course of his speech that the crowd has been growing from the first year to the second year to the third year, and our communication to the White House really requested that Buddhism being one of the 5 major religions in the world, to be celebrated at the White House under the auspices of the President himself. So we are hopeful that next year it will be a much bigger crowd, and we will have President Biden with us, as well as the Vice President, and of course, the second gentleman who has been with us now for the 3rd time. I want to make special mention about Erika. Erika has given leadership to having this event. I'm very thankful to Erika for that. Thank you, Erika. And also the White House staff who have been very helpful. I will make special mention of Brian Luty. Brian has been communicating with the embassies at my DCM was telling me that he got an email at 11:30 in the night. So thank you for keeping him awake, Brian. But thank you very much for your excellent coordination. That's all I have to say. Thank you once again for making this event possible. And we look forward to working very closely with the International American Buddhist Association to have a much bigger event next year under the auspices of the President. And we, the ambassadors, will be coordinating with other embassies because there's a lot more embassies here based in Washington that we want to reach out to. And we will have a much larger gathering, definitely, next year. So happy Vesak and a peaceful Vesak to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Happy Vesak. I hope you had a wonderful time today with us during the celebration. We wish you a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next time. Take care.